We thought that it was necessary for us to talk to you and through you to Nigerian society on very important issues. First is to, through you, get across to Mr. President, President Bola Tinubu of Nigeria, to thank him and commend him for the appointments of river sons, 2 river sons in a stretch of appointments very recently. We have the chairman of Nigerian Institute of Educational Planning and Administration, which was franchised to Chief Honorable Victor Tambari. There's another one, the chairman and CEO of Great Green Wall, franchised to Senator Magnus Ngeyabe. I can tell you that some of my colleagues, when they saw the list, they were telling me, how is it that it was that in River State you have 2? All of us had 1. I said, well, God is on the throne. And I think that Mr. President has a special liking for River State, this thing. So we need to commend Mr. President for giving us this support, because how be it, whether anybody likes it or not, the positions that our brothers have been appointed into will help to strengthen the party. If not on pecuniary or monetary grounds, it will help to strengthen the party in terms of quality. So we thank Mr. President seriously. Then the other thing to do is also take out this opportunity to congratulate the #1 Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Chief Nyesom Wike, Commander of the Order of the Niger, the Grand Service Star of River State, the life bencher. We need to commend him and congratulate him. I don't know how many of you watched the event, the award presentation machinated by This Day and Arise Television. If you were not there, I was there. And I'm sure that if you watched the television, you would have seen the array of colors, you would have seen the creme de la creme of Nigerian society, all conglomerating and sitting down in a particular hall, particular room. It was so bad that should there have been anything, say bomb or anything, Nigeria would have been taken many years back. The point to make is that the creme de la creme of our society were there in that event. And awards were given to individuals that have performed in their different trades. But among those who got this award was the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, who emerged as the best minister of the year 2024. And he was in that contest with 4 other of his colleagues. But in spite of the fact that the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory hasn't been in good terms with Arise, all of you are aware. I'm thinking if Arise people are here, they will know that one of your greatest critics in government is the Minister of the FCT. And also, it goes to show, it translates, therefore, that when your enemy, or I don't like the word enemy, when your opponent comes out to say something good about you, then there is something very unique that you are doing. We have not been in good terms with the Arise Television, neither has it been in good terms with This Day. Of course, that day he noted that as soon as you open your television in the morning, Arise Television, it is about FCT and skewed narratives. And even when he got to the point where Mr. President was seated in his first media chat with the press, the issue was raised. So he's a bit apprehensive of what is going on, you know, with Arise Television, and he has always spoken against them in virtually all the fora they had opportunity. But these same people who supposedly would have been seen as enemies were the one giving him an award of that magnitude. And so we congratulate him. Wike has always made us proud. When he was governor of the state, Rivers State, you people are aware that he also was monikered the infrastructure development governor. And in an APC setting, in fact, to the point, it was even the president that handed over the plaque to him. Otherwise, ordinarily, you and I know what had happened before now, that since it was coming from a political party, okay, they would have made sure that all that would have emerged would have been members of or governors of states controlled by the APC. But it was a departure, which of course means that, again, there is transparency. I mean, people could still know that truth is immutable. And so we use the opportunity to congratulate him and wish him well and pray that he soars higher than the eagle in the days ahead. Now, having done so, maybe in no particular order, but we need to also take this opportunity to look at Rivers State. It is our present, right? This is where we are all operating and participating. And as the chairman of the party in opposition, the leader of the opposition in the state, it behoves on us, the APC, to always mirror, x-ray what is happening in the state, vis-a-vis how it impacts on the people positively and even negatively, and discuss those issues without any bias, without any prejudice, discuss them with clearness of heart, and so that every other person else, whether here or outside here, will actually be in sync with what we are talking about. We have a governor who disregards and disrespects the law. We are in a civil society. One thing that is critical, one thing that is crucial in a civil society is that it is a society governed by laws. And the moment you depart from respect for the law, of course, you are inviting anarchy. If you know the history of man vis-a-vis the times of primitive communalism, primitive era, to the point where we departed by reason of Thomas Hobbes' propounding. You people are aware, I have said this in passing, I want to say it again, that before Thomas Hobbes, life was short, brutish, and nasty. That's the slogan. It was Thomas Hobbes and the social contract theorist that came and gave life to human beings. Otherwise, if you were my opponent or my enemy, as it were, even if you were not, but I needed to kill you, to take your blood or to eat your meat and to survive, that is allowable. It is called self-preservation. That was the rule. Until Thomas Hobbes said, look, we cannot continue like this. Human beings should not continue like this. And he provided what they call, he propounded what he called the sovereign. The sovereign now is government, so to speak. Reason is that it is the sovereign that now begins to decide on issues concerning two persons. And it is the sovereign that has created the do's and don'ts in the society. And so after Thomas Hobbes, there were reviews and all that has given birth to what we call a civil society. So in the civil society, whether the laws are written in what is called constitution, or the laws are unwritten, and then people adopt convention, it is simple that there is law, or there are laws, and that those laws must be respected, especially at the apogee point where the governor claims he is operating from. I'll give you two instances, and you will even add. Today I hear that the governor and his party are celebrating judgment of the State High Court that claim to have ousted the elected ESCO of PDP in Rivers State, even when the matter is in court of appeal, because they had gone to court. Oh, don't hold the Congress and all that. The party had gone to court of appeal and gotten a stay. My dear, court of appeal is higher than the state high courts. For crying out loud. That stay is there, the matter is in court of appeal, and then you come back without regard, you had respect for the hierarchy of courts, because you have turned a particular people and all that to what I call a supermarket. And I tell you that what we used to know judges about is the fact that judges are men of character. I don't know whether that has been, by a fruition of time, I don't know whether that will fizzled out. I don't know. We used to know judges. You know what I liken judges to is what I read in books. That if some of these philosophers you see that have propounded all these things, they are living in seclusion. They don't have plenty time to interact with human beings. And that is the threat of a judge. Isn't that correct? Yes. Most judges are reserved. They are removed from society. Sometimes they don't even read your things that we write on social media and all that, so that their minds are not prejudiced. If it's a class, I will tell you, somebody like Francis Bacon, the man that propounded empiricism, what happened to him? He died. Watching how many minutes it will take, what do you call it, a cock, a mast in snow, how many minutes it will take it to die. But before that cock died, eventually he had passed. You see the knowledge he wanted? How many minutes? How will it happen? But before that happened, he had died. I don't know whether you will know of Thales and all that. So his own case was that he was walking the road without, he was watching the stars, how they are operating, how they are moving. Before he knew it, he fell into a ditch. So these are people who are removed, who are in the business of propounding one thing or the other. People who are prepared to write their name, imprint their names in the sands of history. So I don't know whether that is a threat that is on, but I just pray that if it is tampered with, then we will be in trouble. If there's no judiciary in this country or any country at all, then that country should know that they are headed towards anarchy and chaos. Now, a court, 24th, I think we're a year ago, Federal High Court, under the headship of James Omotosho J, gave judgment, very comprehensive judgment. I think that judgment was on the 24th of January 2024. And it was expansive because it touched everything. that was before him. And that judgment has not been appealed against till tomorrow. Now, Omotosho was taken to the dust by the PDP and people sponsored by the governor to speak despicably of the judgment and the judge and all that. Today, the same Omotosho had given judgment on the issue that was brought before him, viz. The chairman of councils in Rivers State had approached the court that based on the law as amended by the Assembly, Rivers State House of Assembly, that they were still to continue as in the offices they were occupying. The matter reached, interests were canvassed. The same Omotosho now said, no, I refuse to agree with you. And today they are celebrating that one. How? Because it benefited them. They are celebrating same Omotosho that they condemned. So you find the rationale and find the contradictions. That's one. Another one is the same Omotosho had given an order or had given a judgment mandating the governor to go to the assembly led by Martin Amaewhule to represent, in fact, for me, I don't like to use the word represent, because you can't play something or nothing, to present the budget of Rivers State, and had recognized Martin Amaewhule and his 26 other colleagues as the assembly members of Rivers. Please don't use, when you're talking to me about, don't use any of these adjectives, authentic, this, no. They are, I don't know about authenticity and not authenticity. But I'm telling you that the raw, how raw it is, because we voted for them. Nobody had recalled them. Nobody had impeached anybody, so we voted for them. Now, the same judge had given all this. Has the governor implemented? It's to tell you that he has disregard for the laws of the land. He has disrespect for the laws of the land. But I just told you, gave you one instance. That just how many days, the same judge, is not another judge now, the same judge who gave that judgment in January, is the same judge who had said to the chairman, I do not agree with you on this particular matter. Yes, they have also gone to appeal, they have gone on appeal on the matter. Whatever happens at this, it's their own business. Look at the case of, I will just discuss in passing, but I'm just building foundations to further buttress the fact that the governor does not respect laws. He respects laws when it suits him, and when it does not suit him, he doesn't. I don't know that system. Nobody has taught me that system in political science. They only tell me that the laws are sacrosanct and they must be obeyed. I do not know about any theory that told me that when they judge, when the matter is in your interest, it's in your favor, that you like. When it is in your disfavor, you will condemn. I don't know about that. Now, I'm hearing that a high court, having no regard for the Court of Appeal, where a matter is subsisting, the High Court in Rivers State had gone to say that they have ousted the chairman of APC, of PDP in Rivers State. And somebody told me today that the one who flaunts himself that he is now chairman was on air today. And I will address those two issues. Whether the court says S or Y, the power to inaugurate an ESCO of state is vested on the what? The party. When what happened in the APC happened, the party didn't say, no, the party said we are inaugurating a caretaker to hold on to what will stand. so that they can midwife election and all that. So for you to have gone to arrogate powers, then it means too that you do not have respect for the law, for the party. You don't have. And the same governor is carrying them everywhere and posing in pictures with them, when he knows that this matter is in court, and he knows that the end bus stop, the buck stops on the table of the National Working Committee. Nobody, no human being, if you know party formation, no other officer of party can sign a letter that is outside or going out from the party. I'll give you an instance. You, apart from a letter signed by the chairman and secretary of a political party to INEC, INEC will never, ever, INEC would never, ever accept. INEC will never, ever respond to it, because we have laws in this town. So you parade people who you claim the law made, and the law that same law that made them is the same law that has said to you, go and present the budget to 27 and 7 out of 31. And what has happened? He's going and doing it with impunity. He refused. This year of 2025, he had also gone to do the same thing. So I don't know, should Rivers people have taken the laws into their hands to say, no, this must happen? It should have been a state of anarchy. And so you are celebrating that the court here in Rivers State, the State High Court, had removed, supposedly, the elected chairman and all that. You're celebrating that. And I've said that in spite of the fact that you are aware, is very much aware, that the matter is at the Court of Appeal, and that the courts below has no powers to discuss a matter that is before a higher court. So put all this together, you find a man who has disrespect and disregard for the laws of the land. Now, leaving the issue of disregard for the laws and all that, is the fact that I need to ask you people. Port Harcourt was known as a city, they call it a garden city. But under this government, I don't know how to call their names, Port Harcourt has turned a garbage city. Port Harcourt has turned to a city of debris. And you see, the areas stink. I was reading how many days ago, I just stumbled on this thing. And somebody was, whatever, that Port Harcourt, they're asking contractors to go to. Port Harcourt is dark. Are we not aware? Apart from what interventions that we have taken as NDDC, I'm talking about the major roads. Major roads. This one, airport. Just, what's the name again? Duyake Road. Dark. Aba Road. Dark. At night. Gentlemen, I had the privilege of attending with my colleagues a wedding in Borno. Please, you can take the ones you will take. Before Charlie will say I'm talking too many things. I was in Borno State. Okay, maybe when I get there, I'll discuss Borno extensively. But the point I'm making is that as poor, or as not, let me not use the word poor, as not too buoyant as Borno State, if your pin falls down at night in their street, you will pick it up, because everywhere is properly illuminated. Airport Road, dead. This one, dead. GUAK, dead. Aba Road, whatever, dead. and you say we have a government. I was just reading the other day when the commissioner said those who are contractors who should go back and. Do we really need to think about it? Do you need to award another fresh contract when you are having contractors that you are even using to siphon funds from? Rivers State is dark. I want you to note that seriously. I said that Rivers State or APC and the opposition and Rivers State, that Rivers State is dark. And you and I know, Nigerians know, Rivers people know the consequences of an environment of darkness. We want to ask the governor and his team, what is really their game plan? What is the policy of their government? Let's take agriculture. Let's take agriculture, where every other governor is venturing into. I'm sure you know that there is a governor in this state who is called Agriculture Governor, as the governor of Niger State. Let's take agriculture, for instance. And people now know that some of these things are the mainstay of our economy now, at least largely so. And people are investing every day, securing acres and hectares of land to do one plantation or the other. Do you not know that if we have enough cassava and what we'll be generating enough gari in this state? And that the gari basin that I'm told is about 13 to 15,000 naira now will come down to 2,000 because it's in surplus. So if you're not ready to sell it, or the other person is ready to sell. And when people talk about inflation and all that, you forget too that you are the reason why these things are happening. Unordinarily, I was in government at the tail end of his administration. I was essay to His Excellency the Deputy Governor. Ordinarily had a program called Massive Food Production. Massive food production. And it was extended to the 23 local government areas without idiosyncrasies, without biases. Our concern, the deputy governor, it was an interministerial committee. The deputy governor, as deputy governor, was made the chairman of the massive food production. So the meetings of massive food production, meetings were held at the deputy governor's office. And as SA to His Excellency Deputy Governor, he personally assigned me to be taking records. So I can't say I was secretary because I was not appointed, but the Deputy Governor gave me the opportunity to be taking records of proceedings in that event, in that meeting. And how did we get the farmers? We got them from LGAs. And we said there were benchmarks and landmarks. We said if you have up a land up to 10 plots, or at least an acre, the acre or hectare now, of land, and that you are farming, so that they can go and farm, you can ask. Under the list government, that happened. We gave money too. Say, please, you need money to clear, you need money to buy implements and all that, we give. And I tell you that if there's anything I recall vividly that was achieved under the government of Sir Dr. Peter Obi, was a massive food production. Now, Amaechi came and also had his own program in agriculture. People are aware of the famous Shanghai farm that we had in this state. It was comparable to the one that we had the prototype or the original idea of it. It was comparable to it because people, including the governor then, had to visit the site, the farm, and replicated what they saw in River State. I'm sure you would know about the Shongai farm. I used to tell you that if at the point we were using some of our ESCO meetings, we leave Port Harcourt and go to very, very comfortable. I still, if I go there and I don't know whether the roofs are fallen, I could still tell you this is my own apartment. I was staying opposite the deputy governor apartment. So there are apartments that commissioners and cabinet members were given if we go there for state ESCO, or we go there for, what do people call it now? We go there for seminar or whatever.
Retreat.
Yes, retreat. It was a beautiful sight to behold. You leave the area where the houses are and now go to the farm. And you want to say, it's just a case of you are very close to nature. It was that good. Yes, for whatever it is worth. Governor Wike ignored it. And I think I was one of the persons that asked him, why did you have to ignore this project? And to be fair to him, there were no documentations. There were not what? No documentations. All of those things and most of those things were done without documentation. Even the issue, sometimes people say, oh, we can stop people from going to the, brought people back. There were no documentations. Government is about document. So until you get documents and show that this is government and it's government that is doing it, then you have lost the track of that continuity, so to speak. You can ask for papers he didn't see. And don't forget that we didn't hand over to him. I hope you know so. I was chief of staff. Didn't hand over to anybody. 2 or 3 days to swear it in, I had left for Abuja to go and stay with my family. So I didn't hand over to whoever was chief of staff or anything. And nobody handed over. Let the person stand on camera like this and tell me that he handed over to anybody who did it. So there were no documentation. And the thing was capital intensive. It was money sapping. And so that you don't also have a document to defend yourself. Maybe, or maybe not, it is the reason that the government under Wike abandoned the Shongai farm. But they tried something in agriculture. There was an cassava processing plant that was built by the government under Wike. When you build a cassava processing plant, you have, in other words, and I was told that they were asking communities, the local villages, where people farm, to bring their cassava that government will buy off. The government will buy off those tubers and use it, put it in the processing machine to generate gari, starch, and other things. It happened in this state. I want to ask, what is the governor's policy or program as it relates to agriculture? A sector that is now providing some succor to states. What is his own project? What is his program on agriculture? Your guess will be as good as mine. But if we are dispassionate, you will agree with me that as far as Rivers State is concerned, everything and anything relating to agriculture is dead, and I don't know how we can function. Because hitherto, before now, at some point, Rivers State was topping the chart on oil bearing and oil production. But sadly so, Rivers State is number 4, at least I'm in NDDC. And so when we want to appropriate or give out amenities or whatever based on their quota that you bring in, Rivers State takes after Bayelsa. You have Delta, you have Akwa Ibom, you have Bayelsa before Rivers State. Was it like this before? The answer is no. We went to court in this town and got our oil wells from Akwa Ibom. And we celebrated it. We went to court in this town, or we mobilized traditional rulers of the Kalabari Kingdom. I don't know how many of you will remember. I was chief of staff, so I had them on my fingertips. They were all, in their best attire. They were all in their best attire, in arrays of colors. You know, Kalabari man, when a pure Kalabari chief, when he dresses up, they thought here I can buy you 2 plots of land. So they were that well clothed. And we took them to Abuja to go and demonstrate in the streets of Abuja. When the president, as he then was, President Jonathan, took our oil and was given to Bayelsa State. And our argument was simple. You are taking oil from Soku. You are taking oil from majorly agricultural communities. You are taking oil. Meanwhile, you said the precinct, that area, is not your own. No. But what is your own is the thing that is inside that place. I don't know whether people understand that I own this place. And then you said, no, you are not interested in this building. No. You are not interested. But what you are interested in is something that is under here, that it is your own. That one that is under here. You are not challenging the ownership of this place. So that was what it was. We led delegations to the federal and made the president understand that he wouldn't even be president forever. And it got to the point where they said, okay, put the money on escrow, as what they call the escrow account, which 1 month, 2 months they did. From the 3rd month, even the one in the escrow account was returned to Bayelsa State. Now, what is our effort? Under Wike, I think there was a contest around Onega axis. So what are we doing? I say we are ranking 4th. Recently, the president had called a meeting of Ogoni people, and the governor was there and all that. Should the president have been the first person to do that if you are sensible and sensitive? Because if the oil in Ogoni, if it is they start drilling and all that, it means, of course, that we'll top every other person. Because I say that one is 1 million barrels. We're not doing anything in Ogoni, so everything about Ogoni is as it relates to oil is dead. Yes, it's affecting the center, but it's also affecting us even more, because the derivation has how much oil do you have, how much do you produce to enhance the economy. But the president has set up a panel, a committee, and God helping us, God willing, we'll get around that. But it is about, why I brought the matter is about somebody who is lacking in vision, who does not know what to do, other than to run around. I saw him the other day on the scene, wearing a long this thing, and those are the things the governor now cherishes. There's no governors forum meeting or PDP governors forum meeting that if you watch how they come, you find out that if it's not the first, it's the second. All like somebody clutching the straw while sinking, believing that the straw is enough to save you from sinking. Governors have taken not even the back seat in River State. Governance have died. We know that as a politician, you play politics, but the time for politics has not come. It is time for what? Governance. And you are the equity point. You are the overall man in it. And all of a sudden, in few months, because you are seeking for relevance, instead of seeking for relevance and seeking, for validation by your people, you are doing it in a very crass manner. And I ask again, what is the governor's policy in education? I read a damning script, And if you have conscience, and if you love River State, reading from that script, you will be amazed, negatively amazed. You know, you can be amazed positively. You'll be negatively amazed. Why do I say so? The schools we have in the state have turned to, they are all death traps. Death what? Traps. What we should be doing now is to get prayer warriors to help us to begin to pray. That when the rains come and the winds are serrating as it is, particularly in River State, when the winds come, let those buildings not fall on top of our pupils and our students. How can you possibly learn in an environment that is so inserene, inclement? How? I told people a story of what I saw at a particular school. Somebody told me, and I took the school authority by storm. I went there. I didn't tell them I was coming. I saw children coming to school with their mother's wrapper. That's where they will sit to learn. I'm talking about roommate. I think he's making a room here. Please go and see. I have not returned to them. I promise that I will return. Apart from bringing chairs, I let to sit more than 500 students. And let me tell you, the floor they even put those this in. It's not that they are smooth undulations. And you imagine that somebody sitting on that kind of environment, looking at a blackboard, what do you think the person will understand? What? And they also, when the rains breeze, that's what you hear. And lectures are on. My brother, if there's heavy rain in this place, if we don't close these windows, you won't hear me. But they are teaching. No ceiling. I promised them I was going to return. But the bureaucracy in government, including what I have seen in that university, hasn't made it possible for me to go back. But I have put the papers before the people that were awarded the contract. I said, look, let us rebuild this. At least I'm talking about one. I said, go to Rumekini. Just take a drive to the place. The chairs you see are me, are the ones I bought. But look at the building, look at the floor, and come back to me. No. So in education, it's zero. And I said to you that I read a clip from Kana. Those gentlemen, or whether they are old men or whatever, took their time and went to the various schools in Kana. Not even one is saved. So what's the governor's policy in education? Amaechi tried in education. Even though, again, some of these ones that are even dying off were given to cronies, friends. And when you give jobs to your friend, rather it is difficult to control because it's your friend. So Amaechi had education as a policy. Wike also did, but not as in depth as Amaechi may have done. All of those schools of note that Rivers people were known for, Amoni or whatever they call them in Akotoro axis, Okrika Grammar School, Rumokuta, yes. All of those schools that had names at the point that were dilapidated were refurbished under Wike. At least Rumokuta girls is here. Anybody can go there and verify. So what is the governor's policy on education? What is his policy? Or what is his program for education? Should we talk about transportation? States have evolved their transportation methodology. And I said to you that I was in Borno. I saw it. That's according to when I talk about Borno. Because of the housing scheme that I saw in Borno, a state not as buoyant as Rivers State. We have buoyancy in terms of allocation. We have in terms of the revenue generation. 10 times higher than Borno State. If you are entering Borno town, left and right, you will see that the areas are dotted with beautiful edifices, left and right. And they are called housing scheme. When you come back, I don't want to use Akwa Ibom because Akwa Ibom is a model, it's a role model. In Akwa Ibom, I'm sure you know that in the whole of Uyo, you will not see pothole as little as this my finger in all their roads, all. And it's attracting businesses. People go there for seminar. People go there for all manner of things. I don't know how many potholes you have jumped coming from your home to this place. Are the roads smooth? The roads are not smooth. What the governor here is doing now is to give internal those even in the internal roads thing are not peculiar to him. It was Wike. Wike's policy was environmental, what do people call it, urban renewal. And he took projects, communities, the whole of old GRA, you agree, that the whole of new GRA, that, I mean, even major communities. We can also say, look, I majored in roads infrastructure. Whether you call it Wahed Bridge or you call it flyover, it's your own. But the man has 1, 2 to 12 his credit. What is the governor's own? The Trans-Calabari, which of course was a baby of Wike, and he had done the first set or the first segment of that road. So we need to know what his policy. I'm talking about, I've said to you, housing. What is his policy? Do we agree that building, I'm looking for a word that I will use to qualify it, that death trap, that's unheard of buildings that you will see if you take Obirikwere and you're going to the airport. So you're right. They are smaller than my security house. Where my security live, my security house, that building, those structures are smaller than my security house. And who will agree or not agree with me and with us that it is a land wasted? And of course you know that the government is not putting a cover. It's on equity participation. What they are donating is land. Now, if you are donating land and somebody is building, and we build and take rent for a certain number of years after the person has made back his profit, shouldn't you also do what they call due diligence? By asking the person, what kind of building do you want to build, we want to erect? Knowing that it's a thoroughfare, it's an exit, it's a, what is it called again? That something is an exit or inlet, Abi? Yes. Shouldn't you have said, let me see the building, and then, gentlemen, go and see. If I am governor tomorrow, I will put it on record. If I'm governor tomorrow, or by 2027, when we will produce a governor of River State that will have the mental wherewithal, the first advice I will give to him is, after he's swearing in, move equipment to that place and bring down that rubbish. I will do that. And you will see, because I know that the renewed Hope family will produce the governor of River State come 2027. So there's nothing to worry about on that one. So those buildings that you have seen is like the Pharaoh and the Egypt you were. You will see them no more. Now, that may be all for the governor. I also wish that, apart from the way they are operating, or, you know, working nonsensically, is the fact that opposition cannot be seen as enmity. It strengthens a government that is reasonable. I pray that we have opened the new vistas for them. Let them latch on it and make Rivers State a better place. Until we see those situations, we will continue to bomb. We continue to speak up, because the layman in the street that is so angry with what is going on may not have the wherewithal, you know, to speak where people will hear. But we have it, and so we try to use our God-given time and resources to bring to the fore, and tell the Rivers people that the reason why they must vote against, I don't know which party is in government in Rivers State. Anyway, maybe later we'll just that one. I don't know about it. What is happening in Rivers State is a charade. I had a judgment on the matter, and if you were there when their lawyer was trying to dance around, our lawyer just quietly told him that APC is not against local government election in Rivers State. That what we came here to canvass was the process. Every election has processes now. You will say election, the INEC chairman had even announced election in some states ahead of 4-6 months. The law says if there's going to be an election, you will have 90 days, within which period you will do what they call, you notify the parties, you will call stakeholders meeting, you will do all of those. We're saying that you didn't follow the law. That is our argument. So for me here, sitting down here to recognize individuals who came through the back door as chairman, I'll be stupid. And not even that I was at the epicenter of the challenge. So how would I not recognize them? Do I know about 100 days of what? Should I ask me 100 days of Sim Fubara? You didn't ask me, how is what is my assessment of Sim Fubara after 100 days? I don't know about these ones. I will never give credence by offering a response. Allow them now. But you see, listen, gentlemen, you know, as a politician and somebody who has think to impartation of knowledge, I like to make myself very clear, even to the novice on the street. You should commend me that we are able to say this without paper. The moment I begin to talk to you with paper, I'm conditioned. I've conditioned their minds. And that's why I talk. Everybody should take your own side of the story, what you need, what you heard. So that it's not monolithic, it is original. I've discussed the issue of the state. I said there is no government in Rivers State. Government is dead in Rivers State. And I give instances. I say if you have a government that does not respect law and only respects law when it suits them, then they are inviting anarchy. When you have a state as Rivers State that is known as Garden City, that has turned to Debris City, Garbage City, then there is no government. When in a state like Rivers State, because of, apart from the aesthetics, the reason for these street lights are because when then you have street lights, you will be curbing criminality. you'll give people opportunity of having to sell, do their business, even late in the night because there is light. And the lights, the street lights that we know about, that had made River State, beautified River State, are all dead. And the River State is in the dark. It's a dark state. And we said that, I told you I read a paper. It's somebody in his attempt to congratulate the commissioner for power, that he was appointed as a member of whatever. He was appointed because he's commissioner of a state of power. I read him where he said that the contractors should go back to site and do this, else they will cancel their. It's a dead. River State is dark. And I said there is no policy in agriculture. That education is dead. I don't even know whether he has commissioner for education. And that the buildings that we have are death traps for children. And I ask you to help me and pray, join me and pray, that these buildings do not collapse on top of the children. I'm sure that I have addressed that issue of government in River State. I've mentioned everything. I say housing is zero. What we are seeing there is slum. People will live there in squalor. All right? And I have said that how conspicuous that place is shouldn't have been what's the structure I'm seeing. And if you like, take it to the media that I said that if I am part of government, or the making of government, sensible government in 2027, I will encourage the governor after his swearing in, that the first role, the first action he takes will be to take bulldozer and equipment and level up that place and save River State the shame. You talked about congratulating the. Yeah, exactly. That which is good for the geese is good for the gander. Not be the English. Abi? Yes. Wike was 56 or 57. His master, his Oga, our collective Oga, that his own particularly, he was the one saying my Oga, on television, on radio. Don't be so. Yeah, so. He was 57, Abi. December 20. 30. 30. Is it 13 or 12? He was. Did the governor congratulate him?
No.
His Oga, he uses his mouth to say my Oga. And all of you here will attest to the fact that he's actually his Oga. Judging from how he came up till now. He didn't. Even when I came, when I gave a hint, I said, Governor, you should have taken a hint. Take advantage of Wike's birthday and send him, even if on a news crew. Just call Charlie, he knows how to scrub it. On their scroll, you will see it. But if I were he, I would have driven to Wike's house that day. It's a day of sharing convivialities and friendship. He didn't even do a word. And then you expect me, a co-leader of the Renewed Hope family, to begin to venerate somebody that holds our general leader in disdain and scorn. That's a no-no. It's a complete no. Is it because I'm not governor? I was 56 in December too. And he's celebrating 50. It means that I'm 6 years older. Don't be so. Let the son talk to his father. His father will do what?
Thank you, sir.